Hey everybody, it's Jim. I'm here for another Weekend Grabs and review update. I got quite a few things over the past few weekends and I thought I'd share them with you now. So we'll get started with a few comics real quick. I picked up a copy of Iron Man 16. Pretty nice. Nice clean cover. Nice color. 15 center. That's always a nice grab. I like that. I picked up a very cool Jerry Lewis number 86. Look at that. That's right. Very nice. Nice color. Hardly any creases or anything like that. Spine's got a little bit of a fold to it. You can see the shadow there. But still, that's a great comic. It's a King Kong ripoff. King Klong. Anyway. Also picked up Jerry Lewis 93. That's another great cover. Got a little bit of a spine roll on it. But I love it because it's got another creepy monster on the cover and a witch there. So Jerry Lewis, I'm a huge fan. Movies, comics, whatever. That's a great comic there. And the next one is I guess it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Red Wolf number 1. I probably got 5 of these. They're not very valuable. It's a 20 center, but every time I see one I'm drawn to it, so I go ahead and pick them up. So I just got a few of these stashed away. So hopefully one of these days somebody will make a movie about Red Wolf and these will go through the roof, but if not, I love them, so I've got a few copies. So anyway, let's go to the movies now. First one up is Poltergeist. It's been out for a while. I've been waiting for the price to go down on it. And I got to tell you, I saw some really bad reviews on this, but when I watched it, I didn't think it was all that bad. Pretty good special effects. Had some practical effects in it that were pretty creepy. The cast was okay. Sam Rockwell, I like him a lot. I didn't really like him in this too much, but overall, the movie was really good. It's not an exact remake, but it is pretty close to the story. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's not as bad as what you've heard. Actually, I thought it was all right. Second, I picked this up because this is my favorite Clint Eastwood movie other than his Western genre. It's The Gauntlet. And the reason I got this is because it's got the Frank Frazetta artwork on the cover. I've never seen the DVD or the Blu-ray with that artwork on it. I remember the movie poster coming out that looked like that, and I just had to have this DVD. So most people have seen the movie. It's a great from his cop genre. I thoroughly enjoy it, but man, I love the cover more than anything. So I had to grab that. Next up, Blood-Sucking Bastards. So this counts to be like Office Space and Shaun of the Dead combined, and it truly was. It was funny, it was scary, it had great special effects, good practical effects and CGI. It's got a pretty good storyline. The acting in it was really good. Like I said, it's a comedy horror, so they overdo the blood quite a bit, and that makes it even funnier actually to me. So if you haven't checked this out, definitely check this out if you're a fan of the horror comedy genre. The cast is pretty much unknown, but they do a really good job. So I would highly recommend this one. Next up is an absolute hoot, Stung. It's just what it sounds like and what it looks like. Just a bunch of overgrown hornets that are attacking these people at a celebration that they're having outside. So they kind of get trapped in the house and they're trying to figure out how to get out. It has Lance Henriksen in it as well, and it's currently on rotation on Netflix as well. So if you don't want to spend the $10 for the Blu-ray, definitely check it out on Netflix to see if you like it first. I would highly recommend it. I had a great time watching this, and it also has the reversible cover. And this is actually the picture I believe that Netflix has to advertise for the movie. So if you're looking for this picture on Netflix, you won't see it. You'll have to find it with that. So, but definitely check it out. I had a lot of fun with that one. Highly recommend that one as well. The next one is an anthology DVD. There's like 3 stories in it. It's called Campfire Tales. And this was a great grab for me because it's an out-of-print DVD. That's like the highlight of my day when I can find one of those. This is great. It's got Ron Livingston from Office Space. James Marsden, he's also in it. It's just like I said, it's an anthology. It has 3 different stories in it that don't necessarily tie together, but then at the end they kind of do. So it's a pretty good movie. It's kind of short, but for what it is and being out of print, definitely a good find for me. Next is a documentary called Electric Boogaloo. It's about two cousins from Israel, Menachem and Yoram, I believe was his name. They came to America to find the American dream, and they did so when they purchased the Canon Film Company. So for their roughly 15 years that they had Canon films, they created a huge catalog. And this DVD kind of talks about how they made the films, and pretty much what they did was they got money to work on the next projects from people. They got people to buy in, and they would use that money to pay for films that were already made. So by doing it that way, they eventually got busted, and it all fell apart. But during their 15-year run, it was a hell of a ride. So they made some great movies. If you're a fan of the movies from the 80s, Missing in Action, Delta Force, the list goes on. Invasion USA, He-Man. There's just hundreds of movies, and it's amazing when you listen to these stories about these two cousins that they might not even have a script. The actors would show up, and Menachem would say, "Okay, today you're going to say this, you're going to say this, and we're going to do that." And he would just fly by the seat of his pants. And he made some of the greatest movies ever, in my opinion, because of just the genre, the action genre. There'd be no Expendables. There'd be no Jason Statham movies or anything like that without the action movies that these guys threw together in the early 80s and for their reign in the 80s. And it really, really was a good documentary. The two cousins, they weren't on this. It was about them. They've decided to do their own. I believe it's called The Go-Go Boys. I haven't seen it yet, but this is definitely a good pickup. It's in like a combo pack. It's like $40. It includes 4 or 5 of their movies, like Missing in Action, and some of the Cobra, some of the other movies that I named. But you can actually pick this up for $5 at Walmart. It's a great watch. There's a lot of nudity in the beginning because these two cousins in Israel and early in their careers here in the United States, they did a lot of soft porn. So if you're watching this, be leery with the kids. There's a lot of nudity in the beginning of it, but it's a great story nonetheless. So I would recommend checking this out if you're a film buff. It's very, very interesting. Having said that, the Canon Group, I found this, The Mummy Lives. This stars Tony Curtis. It's a Canon film. This is one of these that probably didn't have a script, and they made it up as they went along, and man, can you tell it. Tony Curtis was born in New York. He has a very strong New York accent, and he didn't try to hide it when he played this Egyptian king. It was laughable, and I made it through it, but it was rough. It really was. It was almost funny. It just, the cheeseballness of the whole thing was worth watching it, I guess, to be honest. I mean, it's a horrible movie, but it was horrible good. You can just watch it just to watch Tony Curtis's accent trying to be an Egyptian prince was just so funny. You just have to watch it. So anyway, that's all I'll say about that. The Mummy Lives, starring Tony Curtis as an Egyptian prince. Another one that I really, really love, always have, was Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. It's a horrible story. It's a very cheesy movie, you can imagine, if you can't tell by the title already. It's about a little genie guy that gets trapped in a bowling trophy, and he gets set free and just wreaks havoc. But it's an old one. It's a go-to. It's always fun to watch. It's one of these that went straight to video. Of course it did. But a good find for me because you don't see this very often out in the aftermarket places that you go, like flea markets and things like that. So this one was a good find, and it was in great shape. So Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. Check it out. The next one was Black Sea with Jude Law. This was a really good drama. This was about a guy that worked for a diving recovery company, and he gets fired, and he decides to get his own crew together to go after this sunken treasure that the company that just fired him decided that they were going to try to get to, but there was some issues with the area, and there was some war going on, and the company was afraid to go in. So he got a crew together that would go out and risk everything to try to get this treasure. It was a really good drama. It dragged a little bit in the middle. Some things were pretty unbelievable, but that's the way it is in most of the movies that I watch anyway. So I was okay with that. It's pretty good. I don't know if this is on rotation anyplace else right now, but it's sure to be on Netflix at some point. So check it out. It's, like I said, pretty good drama. And that's basically it. I did want to say, during my last update for the horror block, we got the Argentos Dracula. This really cool cover. It's got the horror block logo on it right here. And then I said in my update or my unboxing video that I thought it was the same as the Argentos Dracula 3D that came out on Blu-ray earlier this year. And it is in fact the same movie. So don't be confused. Same movie. It's okay. Rutger Hauer plays Van Helsing that's chasing Dracula. It's all right, but I love that cover. So, but anyway, don't be fooled. It's not two different movies, if you were wondering. So that's it for the update. Hope you found it interesting. If you have seen any of these movies and feel the same way, or especially if you feel different, please comment below. I'd like to hear about it. So take care, and we'll see you next time.